welcome back everyone to SCD-Seminar 2 2024. Today, as you know, it's April 29th, 2024. It is 29th in Malmo and in California, while it's 8:35 a.m. in California and about, I think, 5:35 p.m. in Sweden. The event was moved from April 26th to April 29th due to our other work-related commitments. So we wanted this seminar to be a success for everyone involved and benefit the attendees also. So I'm gonna present myself. My name is Abdul Majid, and I am a member of Smart City Developers Meetup Group, and I appreciate the world city designs and sustainability, and I'm not directly related to environmental design, but I really enjoy working as a video editor. That is why I participated in compiling the SED documentary, which we will show you soon. All right. So as you can see from the agenda, we have address from Said Zia Hussein and a present SCD documentary. And third one, we have presentations from Transport Management Department, Malmo University. And then we finish with a thank you slide. Okay. So now I will call Syed Zia Hussein to say a few words. You can go ahead, Zia, and talk.
Hi, everyone. My name is Syed Zia Hussain. In September 2022, I started this Smart City Developer Group. I started because I thought to myself that we as students also have plans, like we also have projects in our mind. So we should have a platform. Sorry about that. I have a very bad nose today. And yeah, I thought to myself that we should have a platform where we can do our projects. And I made this group. And later on, I changed it to a non-profit organization. This year, it is supposed to be a non-profit organization, and we will be exceeding with other plans and projects, including this seminar. So that's from my side. And I did travel a lot. I've been to Sweden like 5 times. I love being there, and I hope to be there in Sweden this year or next year as well. And that's all. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, perfect. So as you can see, guys, Smart City Developers is a group of professionals, educators, and students of environmental design, while individuals who are passionate about cities are also welcome to join. The group was founded in September 2022 by an urban planning undergraduate student who is Zia Hussein. The group is now registered as a non-profit organization here in the city of Costa Mesa in California, with the thought of win-win between brackets. Smart City Developers members are welcome to initiate a project, and all its members are welcome to participate and contribute their skills to complete the project. This way, all members get to contribute. You can contribute as attendees or the project leaders. I will explain about the meetup group more details soon. So yeah, I think on February 16th, 2023, SCD has its first events with Transport Management Department in Malmo University and Smart City Developers. Zia Hussein presented his research project about the effects of new high density in Costa Mesa, California on walkability, and it was well appreciated by director Carl Magnus Carlson and the students. Yeah, so it was decided that we would extend the project, and so we are doing it this year. So I'm going to give you a quick brief about how to join up our meetup group. So give me a few seconds to share the screen and let you know how to join up. Okay, I think you can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see. I can see it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you come into your browser, you can go ahead to meetup.com and you can go for the search bar to search events. You can go ahead and type Smart City Developers, and the location is Costa Mesa, California, like this. Here in the sections, you can select groups, so you can find the group of Smart City Developers located the second one. That's it. And then as you can see, we have already 59 members. So you can click this button to request a join. As you can see, the group is very well structured. You can check that out. All right.
Thank you.
So now we will start the seminar by presenting you the documentary, which I will attach now. I will attach it on the chat.
So now we will look at the film, right?
Exactly, sir.
Yep. So see you in 14 minutes.
Welcome to the documentary of the Sustainability Decathlon Tiny House Participation 2023. The Tiny House project was supervised by Professor Sunai Kim, Assistant Professor, Civil Engineering at College of Engineering. During the fall semester of 2022, 8 design teams, comprising engineers and architecture students, enthusiastically embraced the challenge of crafting an environmentally conscious and cost-effective housing solution for their senior research project. Subsequently, through popular vote by esteemed faculty and industry professionals, the design for the Roots House emerged as the victorious choice. Team Roots is a diverse, multidisciplinary assembly encompassing students specializing in architecture, regenerative studies, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical and computer engineering, chemical engineering, computer science, and business. Our dynamic team includes over 70 dedicated students who have contributed to the project's progress, and more individuals are poised to join in this fall to bring the Roots House to life at the Orange County Sustainability Decathlon.
Hi, my name is Jean Tao Lin, and I am a professor of architecture at Cal Poly Pomona. And to explain a little bit about this project, I was introduced to it, I would say, summer of 2022. I was contacted by Dr. Sunai Kim, who is the engineering and project lead for the Orange County Sustainability Decathlon project. And she mentioned that she had been accepted as part of this Orange County Sustainability Decathlon. And I had always wanted to do the solar decathlon, and this was basically California's spinoff. And so I was really excited and agreed to be part of the project. So we basically started by, I taught my class in the fall of 2022, and a number of architecture students, about 25 of them, worked on the design of the house. And then in the spring, we basically started to develop the house and the site design more, also in our classes. And then in the summer and this last fall of 2023, we really spent time on getting the project built and really getting it to become a reality.
In designing the project, there were many goals that we had. The first most important goal was to stay true to what was written in the application, which was the concept of having a multi-generational community that has houses designed around a garden. Okay, so that's where we kind of started our concept. and that ended up affecting our plans and our overall design. The other thing that we needed to consider was that the house needed to be mobile. So it was going to be built in a factory because we only had like 10 days to set up the house at the fairgrounds. And so we had to consider trying to make a building that could be transported down the highway. And we needed to make it as sustainable as possible and also as affordable as possible. So one of the things that was very important was just a very efficient design. And so our house went through many versions. So we had versions where we had more circulation, and then we tried to optimize the design. There were versions where we had plumbing on different sides of the project. So what we ended up with is a project with very minimal circulation, lots of open space, great connection between indoor and outdoor. We also really wanted to consider wheelchair and ADA accessibility so that it could fit our story of the multi-generational community. And we also wanted to have the plumbing be very efficient, so all the wet areas are in the same area. And then again, going back to our story, the kitchen was basically connected to the community, and then we had a large opening towards the outside that was connected to the backyard, which was more of the private area for the families.
Hi, my name is Aspen. I'm a first-year transfer student at CPP. It was my first semester participating in the project, and I'm doing mechanical engineering. So for the Roots house, I picked out the furniture. I helped to get it sponsored, get it delivered, and decorate the house. I found all the furniture inside the house, including the living room, the bedroom, the bathroom, and the kitchen area. We got all the furniture from Warner Brothers property. It was quite a challenge to find all that furniture as the prop house is ridiculously huge. Another challenge for the living room is that it was quite small, and all the couches at WB were about 8-footers, so they wouldn't fit in the living room. So I had to improvise, and I had to go base my furniture and the style of the decorations of the white leather sofa in the center of the room. And yeah, that was quite a challenge. One of the things that I loved seeing working on this project is seeing how it transforms from a concept to a reality, because for the most part, nobody on the project knew if we're going to be able to accomplish everything we've set out to do, especially with the furniture. We were about 3 weeks away, and we still weren't sure where we're going to get the furniture, how we're going to sponsor it, if we're going to have furniture at all. And so what happened is that I reached out to Exux at HBO and asked help with that. They ended up asking WB property to see if we can borrow furniture from them for a couple of weeks, and they agreed. And that was wonderful, but that also meant that we only had about 2 weeks to pick out the furniture and then deliver it. That was very stressful. It was kind of like I was running around at WB property trying to find all the pieces for the house, was struggling to do that, and then after that had to go to classes and had to manage that. But at the end of the day, we ended up accomplishing most of the things that we set out to do.
So we call our house the Roots House, and because of the concept of the multi-generational community around this garden, and the ideas of the family plant their roots there. To talk about the process of the project, well, we started with design, and then very quickly we made contact with a factory and picked a factory, because so much of the design is informed by what we were able to do in the factory and in the very limited amount of time that we had. And then we also reached out to sponsors because we knew that we had a limited budget, and so we were reliant on sponsors to be able to help us out. So once we started talking to the factory, which was Amco Structures in Chino, we learned so many things, and we started to, make some changes to our designs. And then we started construction, and that was probably the best part. So we were able to bring the students there, and we saw this house come together in the shortest amount of time, like 4 to 6 weeks worth of construction in the factory. It was amazing. We got to go there a lot, so we saw every step of the way, from framing to finishing to doors and windows to the finishing touches. And then a lot of the work was actually also finished on site. So for example, the wood flooring we had to do on site just because they had to stitch the 2 modules together. So that's another thing I should mention. So we finished the construction at Amco Structures, and then there was a transportation company that shipped the modules to the fairgrounds. And then there was another company that stitched the 2 modules together and basically, cleaned up all the holes once everything was bolted together. And then we proceeded to do the last finishing touches, like the wood flooring. And then we also spent a lot of time doing the site design. So we brought in planters, trees, and really try to make it feel and encompass the concept of this community in our site design. So lessons learned on this project, there's so much. One is you need more time to complete a project. This was really, really fast. And so it was quite stressful, but we were able to somehow pull it all together in the end. But definitely it would be good, like if I had to do it again, I would try to use like twice as much time for the project overall. And then in terms of lessons learned, well, I'm pretty happy with our floor plan and our building design. I do think that the layout that we came up with is as optimized as it can be in terms of the floor plan. We even had it be beyond optimized because we kind of oversized spaces to make it ADA compliant, and we're very happy to do that because it gives us more flexibility, and it was useful during the fair that people could move around. So that's one of the lessons learned, is that we were happy about this process of optimizing the plan. And that came about through multiple meetings with different groups that helped to advise us on the design. And the tiny house market, well, I think, one thing that we learned is that ADUs are quite popular. We originally, had this idea of having this in a community, and that's the real concept behind the design. But in actuality, what's the most likely outcome of how this design would be used is as an ADU. Because of the recent legislation that's been passed by California, it makes it much easier for homeowners to put an extra building on their property and rent it out. And, and all that really comes down to the numbers. And so that was another thing that was learned during this process, is really trying to optimize the design to try to make it affordable. And these are some of the things we did. We started off with more corners in our design, and then we optimize it to kind of reduce that, to simplify everything, reduce the opening sizes, etc. And we also realized that we need to have flexibility and options, especially if we wanted to look to using this as an ADU. So maybe the front yard is where the good view is, or maybe the backyard is where the good view is, or maybe it's facing north, or maybe it's facing south. But our design luckily is able to adapt to all of those, and you can remove windows on the side if that's staring at your neighbor's kitchen, for example, and you can rotate the house and you change the position of the front door. So that was another thing that was important to us, to have that flexibility. And I think that was something that we should try to do if we were to ever do the project again.
So one of the things that I've learned, definitely time management. I'm pretty good with time management, but working on this project, it was like a full-time job on top of going to school full-time. So it was double amount of stress and things that I've had to juggle around. But it was a wonderful experience to get. I absolutely loved learning a lot more new things about sustainability and sustainable housing in general. I also loved participating in the competition because I saw so many amazing houses and so many great teams participating in this competition. And I absolutely love seeing how different teams approach their challenges in different ways. So like everybody had their own setbacks, everybody had their own challenges, but at the end of the day, we'll manage to get through and get things accomplished, which is quite amazing. One thing that the project installed with me would be like having more confidence in myself and my abilities to accomplish things. It was certainly a lot of responsibility to do the task that I was given, and I definitely felt the pressure because a lot of people were relying on me. But accomplishing all of the things definitely gave me a lot more confidence in myself.
Great. Thanks for the video. Very interesting to see how you can manage making such livable houses, but also so small and I guess rather cheap too. We have 4 themes today that the students are displaying. The themes that the students are writing their projects in are 4: circular economy, smart cities, and corporate social responsibility, as well as logistics as a service, as it's called, and mobility management. And they are presenting their projects in 2 weeks from now on a seminar. And I would say just a few words about the different topics generally, and then the different groups will say what they are actually looking at in order to get the view of the diversity of our training and research here at Urban Studies, Malmo University. And then if there are questions, we could open up a discussion in order to clarify things that we don't really understand, grip, or want to know more about. So the first topic is circular economy. Circular economy is one of the big things now when discussing economic development or handling economic issues. And the thing is that it's all about trying to keep value in artifacts, cars and clothes and whatever for as long as possible. So actually it is to making it more understandable. It's like working secondhand, keeping things alive as long as possible and keeping value. That is the concept. And you usually use the so-called 7 R's: rethink, refuse, reduce, reuse, which is secondhand, repair, that you might have to do when you buy something secondhand, then remanufacture, and finally, when you have done that for a long time, you can recycle, and that is to take care of the raw material of the thing. And we will hear students saying things about that, how it is actually done in real life. But just before that, I would like to show you a picture of the value hill. That was actually in the exam that the students were writing a few weeks ago, and nobody mastered, well, some. But the value hill, on the left side, you see the ordinary linear economic model. You use a thing and then you throw it away. But the circular one is you use a thing and try to reuse it in every step extraction, manufacturing, assembly, retail, and use it as many times as possible in every step of the life cycle of a product. Note that our department is urban studies, and we are a multidisciplinary department doing everything from economics to logistics and transport. And we have those different topics. I will present them. I just talked about circular economy. And here you see the diagram of what it's all about. Do you see that two triangles?
Yes.
Great. And the ordinary way of the old way of doing things is to produce something, consume it, and throw it away. But circular economy is all about producing something, using something, and trying to keep the value of that something for as long as possible. And one way of doing that is to recycle cans for beverages. And Sweden is one of the most recycling countries when it comes to aluminum cans and also PET bottles of plastic. And the students who are working with that just love to say something about well, the students will now say something about what they are doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, we're going to talk about the deposit system here in Sweden. It is a system where consumers return empty packaging for recycling in exchange for some kind of deposit, which is kind of a refund as money. It's a way to encourage recycling and also reduce the littering of packaging, and it also usually applies to beverage packaging. And we will take up the company here in Sweden that's called Pantamera, as you can see on the pictures. In our essay, we're going to talk about the negative and the positive effects of the deposit system. Some positive things are that we don't need to manufacture new cans. Instead, we can recycle the material that we already have, which in this case also saves money. And the negative effects are that it needs very much good logistic planning for it to work, and it's also a very expensive system. And the system here in Sweden is only available here in Sweden, which means that cans that are bought here in Sweden cannot be recycled in any other countries. So that's what we're going to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was very interesting. The
Yeah.
most interesting part was like the cans that are used in Sweden cannot be used in for example, like if I make a visit up there and I buy a lot of like, I don't think so I'll be able to bring the food stuff, but if I bring the food, I cannot recycle them up here. Like, is the quality different, or what is the reason?
The reason is you actually can deposit, you don't get the deposit back. So if you buy a can in Germany,
Yeah.
If you return it in Germany, you get money back, euro, whatever. No, not €1, 10 cents back.
Yeah.
But if you take that can to Sweden,
Yeah.
you have paid your deposit in Germany, and there is no agreement between Germany and Sweden to refund the deposit. So you can put it in the deposit machine as you see in the picture, but you won't get any money.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought the quality was like the difference of the quality or something like. All right.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, we just don't get the money. It's like no incentives.
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
No
But the
incentives.
thing is that
Oh,
people in Sweden, they go to Germany in order to buy, for example, beer in cans.
yeah.
But even though they have to pay the deposit for that beer can, it's still cheaper than buying it in Sweden. So
Oh,
there is still a
there's
trade.
yeah.
Okay, so we thank the Pantamera. It means deposit more in Swedish. And then we have another group that is scrutinizing a company that is producing babies' clothes, but they do it with very high quality in order to what? Which is the Polar and Pyren. The power and the pyre.
Means it so it is good enough that it can be used again for a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Hello.
No.
Yes, I can.
So I took that out. So
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. So in our project, we're exploring the transition from linear to circular business models in the textile industry. With growing environmental concerns, the textile industry faces the challenge of redefining its practices. We're investigating how circular economy principles can mitigate environmental impacts. Our focus includes examining organizations like Punan och Pyret, a leading children's clothing store in Sweden, which implements circular strategies such as product reuse and recycling.
Through initiatives like their second-hand program, they encourage customers to return used clothes, promoting circularity and reducing waste. They also focus on product design. By using high-quality materials and sustainable manufacturing methods, they strive to produce sustainable clothes that last a long time. Our study aims to understand the potential of circular business models to create a more sustainable textile industry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was interesting.
That was interesting. Yeah. That was very interesting.
very interesting. Thank you very much. And it's quite amazing that what a few years ago was considered second-hand for perhaps people with less money, or poor people had to buy clothes in second-hand stores in order to get something to put on, has now become a trend, the second-hand trend, and it has also become sort of a hipster thing. Hipster parents buy Polan and Pyret, and so on. So it's very, very, very interesting. Actually.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's move on. Do you have that in California too? That kind of business?
We have the can. We are starting with big drums. Like it's gonna be a one black drum for the food, then the blue one I think so for the papers, and there's a green one. Oh no, the green one is for the food, and the black one is like something like that. So we are just implementing it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just the drum. It's not the machine. You know the machines that you have, like the hole. You just put it in, and the money comes out. It's not that. Yeah, that's not the case. It's here. You have to go to the recycle store if you want the money back.
Okay.
It's like a big, like like office you could say, or like an organization, and you take the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we move on, and the next topic is
Number 6.
that is now you will see things that you are not supposed to be looking at because
It's in Swedish.
Yeah, so
It's fine.
I guess this is the next slide. And
Okay.
the next topic is man kan inte dölja när man man kan inte dölja något. Anyway, smart cities is the next topic, and that is more or less about digitalizing different functions and activities in the urban set. And you need cameras, and as we know, cameras don't always work. You have microphones, and you have noticed that microphones don't always work. But the thing is that you collect big data, or lots of data, in order to get to know what people are doing and thinking and wanting and needing and so on. And then you can apply that knowledge to public transport, for example, you know how people are moving around in the city, then you can manage public transport lines and so on in different ways in order to make the city smarter. So it's about collecting knowledge, collecting data, and using that in order to make the city more sustainable. But of course, doing that, you get to know a lot of things about people that people don't want you to know. So there's an issue of integrity in this. Here's an example of how it can work for transport. It's a lot about electrifying solar energy and so on, but also collecting that data I was talking about. And there are, of course, benefits with that. You can make the city activities more efficient, but there is also problems with integrity. And we have an example with this, and it is sustainable transport in Malmo. And we have a group that is writing about the developing different cycling areas and cycling lanes, using real-time data to optimize traffic signals and so on. And perhaps that group has something to say? Yeah, me, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what our project is it's about how to use smart city, concept of smart city, to utilize it and make the concept more environmentally friendly, so that we can use it and push down the positive use. So one example is the bikes that you see. They're called Malmo bike. So it's a concept that encourages biking as a mode of transportations, which promote the sustainability by reducing the reliance on cars and public transportations, thereby decreasing the traffic congestion and lowering emissions. You may see the picture where the woman is standing right there.
Yes. Yeah. On the left hand side, right? Yes.
So what that is, it's they manufacture roads, you see, because they use their real-time data and optimize their traffic signals and route planning. So by doing that, for example, if you need to travel a short distance, you don't need to take your car or something. You can just can use a bike, because these bikes are scattered across Malmo. So that is efficient by. So that is environment friendly and efficient. But
Yes.
the negative part of that is the funding, because these technologies are they cost a lot of money. So that is a challenge. But I think in the near future it would become more a bigger thing. So by doing this, the city can likely use the data analytics and understand the biking patterns, which uses trends and infrastructure needs. So this data then can be driven approach enable informed decision making, and thereby allowing the optimization and of biking infrastructures based on real-time feedback. So this was a small part of our project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is also very interesting. Big data, collected data about how people move around in the city in order to make biking more efficient. It's quite amazing.
We do have these
Do you have
bikes.
a lot of biking in Costa Mesa?
We do have this bike. This is a new trend coming up here, but we did have this thing before in Long Beach. So you kind of, this is a paid bike, you pay for it, then you can go certain miles, and then you can leave it up there. You don't have to bring it to a parking. You can leave it wherever you want to, and somebody else will use it, and then they'll take it anywhere. It's like transportation, but it has no parking. It has all the parking, like anywhere, within a certain mile. I think so. After that, it doesn't bike itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. It's more or less the same concept as this Malmo by bike, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Then we have a group that is writing about PostNord.
Okay. It's like with the post office.
It's actually the state post service.
Hello. Our study is talking about PostNord. PostNord is a postal service company in Sweden that offers services such as tracking parcels, letters, or pallets. They provide other services and tools to send and receive mail. They also have an app that allows users to track their parcels. Implementing a smart city model could offer several benefits to a company like PostNord. Efficiency and cost reduction. Smart cities use data and digital technology to make better decisions and improve quality of life. More comprehensive real-time data gives agencies the ability to watch events as they unfold, understand how demand patterns are changing, and respond faster and lower cost solutions. This could help PostNord optimize their delivery routes and schedules, reducing cost and improving efficiency. Another thing is improved services. Smart city technologies can enhance service levels. For example, real-time traffic data could help PostNord avoid congested routes, resulting in faster deliveries. Also, a smart city infrastructure like information on or IT-enabled post boxes could notify PostNord when they're full, optimizing pickup schedules.
And citizens in smart cities, they also expect robust, user-friendly, and digital services. And PostNord could then leverage this by offering advanced features like real-time parcel tracking, digital information, and other interactive services. The evolution towards the Internet of Things, in short IoT, in smart cities can lead to the implementation of new business opportunities. For instance, PostNord could offer value-added services like temperature control transport for sensitive goods, thus leveraging LOT sensors. Smart cities also aim for sustainability, and PostNord could align with this goal by optimizing routes to reduce fuel consumption, or by using electric vehicles, and thus contributing to the city's sustainability efforts. But you also need to remember that the implementation of a smart city model is a complex process that involves various stakeholders, and it also requires very careful planning
and execution. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You don't. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And this is a very good example of
Yeah.
actually implementing those technological gadgets that make it possible to track and trace goods and make logistical chains more effective.
Yeah, I was like interested to get to know more about how fuel consumption can be lesser with that. I think so. You mentioned about the uh, electric cars or something like that. And then second thing, how does it work for the temperature control? So temperature, what was that? You mentioned something about the temperature, and that was very interesting to get to know how the packages and temperature kind of.
He wants to know about the tempererade transport, the temperature. I don't think he will hear you.
Yeah.
So if you come here.
Yes.
Yes, to answer your question, by this we mean, for example,
Yeah.
some packages they require staying in a cold state, and some packages can be needed to stay in a warmer state of form. For example, some kind of fruits when you deliver fruits, or other packages that need staying in a cold state, and that's what we mean by the temperature controlled packaging, which PostNord could offer to its customers. So it depends on what you need to deliver and not deliver, and
and how to deliver.
Yes, and how to deliver, and if the product needs a certain type of temperature to sustain in its in the form that it is required.
No, I got it. Now I got it. Yeah, I was thinking about the temperature of the room or something, but now I got it. Like, yeah, because we sometimes order like eggs and butter and stuff like that on Amazon, and then we get it like a foil packed stuff that stays like with the temperature, as you said, it stays in the temperature, and then there's the cooling bags, something like that. I don't know. They're like ice with it on top of it, and it stays cool. The package stays cool. I think so. You're talking about how to keep the packages cool or hot, right? Yeah, that's amazing. Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
And when you can't keep the packages cool with your eggs and your butter and stuff, then it becomes waste.
Yeah, that's true. Huh?
And waste management is a thing that also is connected to the smart city concept, because you can actually make your dustbin think and tell the waste guys if they are supposed to come and empty it or not. And we have a group actually specializing on that.
Hello.
Yes. Hello, guys.
Hello. You look like you're four. Is this Backstreet Boys? Are you the Backstreet Boys?
I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. So our research field covers the possible and contemporary implementations of smart city concepts and technologies into waste management, both locally in Sweden and throughout the world. Smart city is heavily reliant on developing and implementing data collection systems, artificial intelligence, and associated technical equipment, just to name a few. The purpose of these systems is to allow for greater sorting of waste, savings in time and money, and to increase the amount of recycled and reused material, which all correlate to minimizing the negative environmental effects.
Some example of smart waste management system we found are smart bin system can use sensors to read and classify the waste placed inside them. Unlike conventional waste bins, this allows for a more efficient waste management, where the bins share information that enables a greater waste collection planning.
Waste to energy is a comprehensive concept that involves the conversion of bio-waste into energy. With the help of machine learning, we're able to influence and predict the amount of biogas produced. The system strives to optimize waste transport and logistics.
Swedish waste management, driven by household responsibility and legal mandates, requires consumers to pre-sort waste into categories like glass, plastic, and cardboard. This system minimizes landfill use and emissions, ensuring compliance from both companies and waste handlers.
So if you have the information about how much of the waste container is filled up, you can actually choose how the pickup route is gonna be made, and you can avoid the containers which are not filled enough. And by doing this, you can save on fuel, but also reduce the negative emissions, which is good for the environment.
The waste that arrives at the handling facility can be sorted with the help of robots and sensors that interact with computer control systems. The sensors identify materials with high gas emission and classify them using cameras connected to an AI system, which then processes and sorts the materials according to their properties.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, it was interesting. I do understand, like, you have a system in Europe which like we just saw a couple minutes back. It's a kind of a machine. You put all your stuff into it, it's a round figured on the wall, and then you put it in. I think so it divides into different, like the glass and the plastic, it divides into different categories itself, right? That's what you were talking about as well, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And what about the food elements? Am I going in the right direction? Am I going in the right direction? I'm not getting any response from you. I feel like I didn't understand what you're saying.
What do you mean?
Okay, yeah. I mean to say, like, what happens with the food? I mean, I can understand, like, if you put the recycling for the, like, the waste of the plastics and the glass can be divided into two categories. But if somebody puts food items in it, what happens with that? Because you did mention about there are different categories. Yeah.
The idea in Sweden is that you sort packaging by itself. So plastic packaging in one box, or hole in the wall, and metal in another one, and so on. And then there's a special hole in the wall for food.
Yeah.
But you have to separate the food from the packaging. So if you have a box of eggs, you are not allowed to throw away the box with the eggs inside, even if people do that with their rotten eggs. But the idea is to separate the packaging from the food, for example.
Yeah, my second question was about the same that what you just mentioned. If they do put the box with the eggs, is there a penalty for that? But I'm sure it's very hard to detect the person who did that, unless they have cameras up there.
Actually, that's one of the things with smart cities, because now and also those intelligent waste bins, because in the future that will be possible to find out who actually threw away the wrong thing in the wrong box. And actually, in the local newspaper a few weeks ago, there was a real estate owner renting out apartments who put up a camera in the waste room and found out that the family was actually throwing things in the wrong in the wrong waste bin,
Waste bin.
and they were thrown out of the apartment.
Oh.
So there is a penalty. Not an official penalty that like you get a parking ticket, but you can actually be thrown out of your apartment if the owner of the house you are living in wants to.
I got it. Yeah, because I know in Netherlands they have like they call the green police. They do give tickets.
Yeah.
They do give tickets as well. Because I remember my neighbor, we were like students up there, and they didn't get a ticket, but they got a warning, like a letter saying that if you do that again, they're called the green police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for the waste guys, the Backstreet Boys of Malmo. I don't know if you got an applause.
Oh yeah.
And now we move on to corporate social responsibility, and that is actually some. Let's say it is. It has to do with the conscience of the company. If the private company, is actually working along with sustainability goals, being good to people, social sustainability, making profit, economic sustainability, and not destroying our common future when it comes to environmental impact. And that is corporate social responsibility. And the company that is going to be scrutinized by a group here is the Swedish National Pharmacy. And we have now the pharmacists. They're getting ready to tell you about the waste of pharmaceutical material.
Pharmaceutical material. Okay. Sustainable deposit. Hello. Hi.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Hi. How are you? Good. Awesome. Awesome.
Ska jag bara köra igång här eller? Okej. Men gud, jag tänkte prata lite. Det kommer att gå. Okej. Our project is about how the Swedish pharmacy Apoteket works with the waste disposal of different pharmaceuticals. Because a lot of waste ends up in the forest and in our waters. And Apoteket works with this by offering free submission of different leftover pharmaceuticals. They also spread information about the risks of throwing your leftover pharmaceuticals in the regular bin. And overall, Apoteket works with corporate social responsibility in many different ways.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's all? Okay, gotcha. All right, take care.
Okay. We thank the pharmacists, and perhaps you don't think it's a big problem throwing away a few pills of whatever. But actually, when you add up all the pills that are thrown away and put in the toilet and flushed, of course it impacts the environment. So it's a very important. And actually, now there is a commercial in Swedish television about this, where Apoteket says, "Return your
They're gonna sing a song like to make it.
Yeah.
I think so. They should have a certain bin for that, like categories, like they have the glass and the. I think so. Yeah, that's a very.
And pharmaceutical materials. The thing is that bad guys will take the pharmaceuticals and sell them secondhand. This is good for whatever.
Exactly.
So then we're actually approaching the end of the presentations, but now we have a group that is connected, I would say, to the smart city thing, and it is logistics as a service. And that is a new trend that everything is called as a service. And as a service is actually making things run or managed digitally. So you collect big data and you use cloud services and so on. And you can apply that to products. Then we are talking about Internet of Things, logistics as a service, mobility as a service, and so on. And the thing is that with help of digital tools, you can make the handling more of goods, in this case, more efficient. And we have a group talking about this, and they are focusing on the company Scania and Volvo, which you know are two Swedish famous truck companies, Scania and Volvo.
Scania.
Hi.
Hello.
All right. So Group 10 is exploring the environmental impact of freight transport, focusing on Volvo and Scania efforts to relieve negative effects. As Sweden's main freight vehicle manufacturers, their products significantly influence freight transport's environmental footprint.
Our study investigates how laws can boost freight transport sustainability and improve logistics chains through technical advancement. We recognize that no single factor can solve this issue, but believe in a combination of discussed areas can foster more sustainable freight operations.
Yeah, thank you.
On the screen you can see how laws is working.
Right.
Thank you,
Cloud. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Question about this. It's like the cloud systems that are going to be used, are they like linked to a third-party cloud systems like Amazon, AWS, and such as like Google Clouds? You know what I mean? Or it's like you build your own cloud systems and you use them for logistics?
Well, the group is now prepared to answer your question.
I'm not really sure which system they're going to use, but we're going to look that up. And
okay.
Take it
Thank
without.
you. It's okay. Thank you.
I am quite sure that the big logistics companies that are developing their own or automotive companies are developing their own systems, but surely there are different systems that you can buy into. But exactly how it works, we will know the 14th of May.
Perfect.
Okay. Then we have a picture you are not supposed to see, followed by another picture. But after that, there is a picture about, and I think that's the last group. It is mobility management. And mobility management is about using soft measures in order to make people use public transport, cycle more, walk more. And the idea is to reduce the negative impacts of transport, which is congestion, emissions, injuries, and so on. And these guys are going to talk about those soft measures. And in order for you to see our funny letters, an A with a on, and then A with the two dots on, and so on. I let the Swedish words stay, just to get this exotic feeling of the Nordic countries. So now, please.
Hello.
Awesome.
So the purpose of our essay is to analyze whether Skånetrafiken, which is an organization in charge of public transportation in the southern region of Sweden, if they use this mobility management as a tool for public transportation. So a brief overview of mobility management. Mobility management involves altering travel attitudes and behaviors to influence transport demand towards more sustainable modes such as cycling, walking, and public transit. Mobility management extends beyond behavior and attitude and social norms, leveraging principles like habitual behavior and cognitive dissonances. And nudging is a gentle push to influence people to use or take public transportation.
Mobility management marketing is using mobility management as a marketing tool to reduce carbon emission by minimizing car use and promoting public transit, cycling, or walking. Skånetrafik wants to test and experimentally develop a new scalable service for combined and integrated mobility known as MAS, or Mobility as a Service, in Skåne. This allows of offering an attractive alternative to traveling by private car, thus promoting a more resource-efficient mode of transportation. The project needs to be designed in a way that allows for geographical scalability. Skånetrafiken wanted to initiate the project with a condition that they receive rapid feedback from their customers, stakeholders, and partners in the city. In the early stages, this is considered a crucial factor in creating a service that is actually used. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, sorry, go on. Do you want to say something?
No, go ahead, Zia.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the picture that I was looking at, I think it's kind of stretched a lot, or is the bus like that?
No, it was actually in order to get all the text into the picture, I had to stretch the bus.
It's all good.
But actually, we do have what they call super buses here in Malmo, which are super long. I think they are 25 meters long or something. And that is a special thing. I'm wondering, is there any group that is still hasn't said something?
Just to
because you don't have to if you haven't prepared. I'm just asking because I don't want to miss someone. Is there someone who wants to? You want to? You have, but you didn't send it. Okay, but come.
Awesome. No, I definitely like the idea.
There is a
we'll talk about this.
PowerPoint-less group.
Okay, sounds good. I like how I like the way that they are. I'm totally amazed that because in Europe, public transportation is already very popular. Here in the United States, it's really not popular. And still, they're increasing the popularity of the public transportation, which means a lot. It means a lot. Yeah. I think so. For when it comes to public transportation, America needs to learn a lot from Europe.
Yeah, but that's my impression too.
Yes.
Perhaps what are you talking about?
Greenwashing.
Greenwashing, yeah.
All right.
Go on.
In today's global business landscape, ethical considerations are paramount. H&M, a global fashion retailer, has been under scrutiny for its ethical practices, despite its stated goals of sustainability and ethics. One significant challenge H&M faces is greenwashing. Greenwashing occurs when a company falsely presents itself as environmentally responsible. Despite H&M's efforts to promote sustainability, instances of greenwashing can mislead consumers and damage the company's credibility. Reports have highlighted issues such as low wages and poor working conditions in H&M supplier factories. Moreover, environmental impact remains and concern, despite the company's ambitions to reduce it. These ethical dilemmas raise questions about H&M's responsibility to workers and the environment. Despite the challenges, H&M has taken steps to address its ethical shortcomings. Initiatives like H&M Conscious collection and efforts to reduce water consumption and carbon emissions demonstrate the company's commitment to sustainability. However, bridging the gap between ambition and reality remains crucial for H&M's ethical journey.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, no, I had some comments about greenwashing. I was expecting the quality of the cloth that they're using is like not sustainable. And then I listened to your presentation, then I realized it's about the ethics, right? They are not giving proper environment to the employees or something like that.
It's about the workers. The salary is very little, and the place they live in, it's not very good. Sometimes they live in the workplace.
Oh wow, the employers is like a slavery.
Yes, something like that.
Something like a slavery, right? They live up there, they eat up there, then they work up there. Like, ooh,
yeah.
Oh, that's bad. Oh wow, that's a good one. Go for it. Yeah, go. Awesome.
Yep.
Oh,
And
wow.
now it's not only H&M, but I think it's Spanish or German. Spanish, Zara. Spanish clothing company, just like H&M. And it has been detected that their employees in the shops in Sweden are living under more or less slavery conditions. And they're not allowed to go to the toilet, and they are not allowed to eat, and they are not allowed to do anything but work.
Work
in
all
the
the time.
Certain space, and that is actually happening in Sweden, just like Donald Trump said a few years ago. Hey, just look at Sweden. Look what's happening in Sweden, and it's happening in Sweden actually. Things that we didn't think would happen. And that is greenwashing, big time, I would say. So, thank you. Is there still a group that wants to present? No. I'm not sure that everyone has come forward, and if you want to, this is your last chance. Well, you are missing your last chance now. I will start counting at 14 minutes and go. No. Okay. So thank you, everybody.
Oh, thank you. Oh, claps.
And you have made a couple of fantastic presentations, very interesting presentations, very sort of important presentations, considering the times we are living in with problems, environmental problems, social problems, and lots of other problems, economic problems, inflation and everything. So I'm looking forward to the final products of your projects. They are supposed to be submitted the 7th of May, and I have put the box at Canvas where you can upload, and you have to send it to this checkpoint Urkund also. So would you like to we're also very happy to have this seminar, and I think we have all learned a lot. I think we have made great progress in our collaboration. Thank you very much for today.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
My students want to go home and dream sweet dreams. And yeah.